blood supply of the hand and wrist. Movie number 3. As we just say, this is the radial artery, and this is the superficial palmar branch of the radial artery, which continue the superficial palmar arch. This is the superficial palmar branch of the radial artery. The radial artery at the level of the wrist, or just before the wrist, it will wind around the wrist and enter an area here, a space here, or a compartment here. We call it the snuff box. There's a box like here, and this box here, this is the radial artery, and then go to the dorsum of the hand, but not distributed here much. Just proximally, it will pass between the two heads of the first dorsal to form this. The radial artery will form the deep palmar arch. The deep palmar arch, this superficial palmar arch. The deep palmar arch, as we said, this is the superficial palmar arch, which lie at the level of the distal border of the thumb, of the extended thumb. The proximal border of the extended thumb here is the level of the deep palmar arch at this level, which cannot be seen here. As we see, this is the snuff box. The snuff box boundary of the snuff box. This is very common to be asked the student. Very common questions can be faced by the student here. One of the questions are, what are the boundaries of the snuff box? The boundaries, as we see here, we have, this is the lateral side. This is the lateral side, and this is the medial side. So this is lateral side, and this is the medial side. This is lateral side, from here lateral side, and from here the medial side. So laterally it's bounded by, this is the abductor pollicis longus. This is the abductor pollicis longus. This muscle, abductor pollicis longus. We see its end at the base of the first metacarpal bone. This is the first metacarpal. Its end here at the base. This is the abductor pollicis longus. When this muscle comes from posterior, you see how it's went from here. When this muscle contract, the thumb will be abducted. From this direction will be this direction. This is the abduction. Come from posterior and come here. So this thumb will be abducted. So this is the abductor pollicis longus. Here is this muscle. If I don't know what is this muscle, so just I looked at this muscle. Where it go? To the thumb. From where come? From posterior. So this is extensor. Where it come to the thumb? So extensor pollicis. Is it longus or brevis? I see its end at the base of the proximal phalanx. So this is extensor pollicis brevis. What is this muscle? Come from posterior compartment. So this is extensor pollicis, extensor muscle. Okay, where it go to the thumb? So this is extensor pollicis. Where it reach? It reach the base of the distal phalanx. So this is extensor pollicis longus. So the boundary, medially extensor pollicis longus, laterally extensor pollicis brevis, and abductor pollicis. This is, what is the content here? Is the radial artery. Very important to ask, to be asked here. What is the content here? Is the radial artery. And in the base, formed by the styloid process of the radius, styloid process here, and the scaphoid. Injury of the scaphoid will be painful, this area. Injury of the scaphoid, the fracture of the scaphoid, this area will be painful. This snuff box is here. We can see here, this hole here, the snuff box, this area. This is the snuff box. So this tendon, if I palpate this tendon, this is the extensor pollicis longus. While here I have two tendons. The first one in the snuff box is the extensor pollicis brevis, and the last one here, abductor pollicis longus. So I not forget, this is the abductor pollicis longus, because the direction of the muscle come from posterior to this direction. In order, when contract, it will pull the muscle, the thumb to the abduction position, to be perpendicular to the level of the plane of the fingers. So this must become here in order to pull, to make abduction. Don't forget this. The first one is the abductor pollicis longus, and the second one is the extensor pollicis brevis, because it will reach to the base of the metacarpal. So this one, extensor abductor pollicis longus, and at the first metacarpal. The second one, and at the base of the proximal phalanx, and the last one, and at the base of the distal phalanx. These are three muscles. And why we call this abductor pollicis longus? Because it is the long muscle, and we have here the abductor pollicis brevis, as we just say in the thinner muscle.